capital of Indiana is moved from Corydon to Indianapolis. People first settled into southern Indiana. Later, people began to settle in central and northern Indiana. John Tipton and the commission found a new place for the state capital in the middle of the state of Indiana in 1821. They accepted the state and called it Indianapolis.
Really? Oh, hi. So in the late 1800s, 25,000 people died after the Civil War. Even people that weren't even in the war got affected by it. Even during the war, women had to take over farms and other businesses while the men were away fighting. President Lincoln came up with a plan, the Proclamation, to end slavery to people down to the South. Later in the 1850s, the Indiana Constitution provided a free school to provide education. In the late 1800s, the people 8 through 14 can attend school. That was later raised in the late 1800s.
In 1906, U.S. Steel builds the tallest town of
Gary.
It's for its work.
The Great Migration between 1910 and 1930, thousands of African Americans have moved to many different northern and southern states to equal civil rights for the Great Migration for many African Americans.
In 1920, the 19th Amendment was created for women to be able to vote. Women weren't allowed to vote or even own businesses. In 1900, they could own businesses but still not vote. May Wright Sewell helped gain that right to vote. The 19th Amendment made women able to vote. In 1920, Julia D. Nelson was elected for the Indiana government.
1964, the Civil Rights Act is passed. The Civil Rights Movement was to have equal rights for everyone. One of the leaders was Martin Luther King Jr. Because of this, on April 4th, 1949, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated.
The Cold War was over. At the end of the Cold War, the people were killed in the attacks, and the USA were rebuilding the site.